Hey girls, welcome back to another episode of the Go Girl podcast. I'm so excited about today's show, as always. And I'm coming to you to talk about dating and relationships, one of my favorite topics to discuss on the show. A lot of you all love the topic as well because there's always conversation about dating on social media. And right now, in particular, a lot of people are discussing their ins and outs for 2024. Instead of resolutions, people are discussing, oh, what they want to keep in their lives and what they want to bring in, what they're calling in to their life. And then the things they want to release, like this is out. So I figure we talk about dating a lot. Why not do one about dating and relationships? But we're going to focus on dating, okay? Because before we get into that relationship, we need to make sure we're dating and having healthy connections at the top of a partnership rather than being in that relationship and then trying to figure it all out, right? We're trying to be proactive over here. So today I'm going to talk about dating ins and outs. But before that, we're going to start with an affirmation. Today's affirmation is, which goes along really well with dating, I release the need for approval from others and find validation within myself. Let's repeat that. I release the need for approval from others and find validation within myself. One more time. I release the need for approval from others and find validation within myself. That means I'm not trying to prove myself to someone else. I'm not trying to get a praise from someone else or get all of these likes from others and everything. I am fine with being myself. I release that need for that approval and I find that validation within myself. The validation could be with more affirmations and saying more, I love myself and I am smart and beautiful and kind and all these great things about myself instead of needing someone else to say that to me, right? It's great to hear from others, but believe it for yourself first so that when someone else does give you that compliment or say something nice or validate you in some way, you already believe it because you already know that to be true for yourself, right? So I release the need for approval from others and find validation within myself. That's a big one in relationships. A lot of women, we'll talk about this in another podcast episode, but a lot of women try to prove themselves in relationships. And I'm here to tell you that, sis, you do not have to prove yourself to nobody. Okay, for my grammar girlies out there, you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. All right. You are enough for yourself within yourself. You don't need to be out there and trying to overdo it for someone else's love. Okay, release that. Release that. That's an out for 2024. Okay, we're releasing that. So one more time, and then we'll get into the topic. I release the need for approval from others and find validation within myself. All right. So let's get into today's episode. The relationship ins and outs. I'm going to keep it brief. All right. I'm going to give you three ins and three outs. If you've been here for a long time, you should already know the first in, and it has something to do with boundaries. Yes. The first in that we're keeping for dating in 2024 is number one, keeping your boundaries. So important. First, know your boundaries. What are your boundaries? What are boundaries? Boundaries exist to help you still have control over yourself. It's something that is not to control someone else, okay? Some people get that twisted. We'll have to have a whole episode about that. But boundaries are to protect yourself. And boundaries, you could kind of feel when a boundary is being tested, maybe by how you feel inside. If you're starting to feel uncomfortable, if it's like, okay, someone keeps doing something and for some reason you don't understand why it bothers you, that maybe they call you after 10 or 11 at night, it bothers you, but you don't want to say anything because you're like, well, they're just calling, whatever, or we're just having a conversation. But no, if that gets into your time, if that gets into your bedtime, your night routine or something, you don't want to be called after a certain hour, then okay, place that boundary. Like, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. I would love to talk to you, but at a more decent hour, maybe like give me a call at 7:30, 8 o'clock. That's setting a boundary. That's with anyone. That's with your friends. That's with someone you're dating. But we're talking about dating right now. And I used to call those like booty call hours, like, bruh, do not call me after 10 at night. What's your problem? I did. I told someone that back in the day. I was like, it is after 9 o'clock. I was very strict with my, I had certain rules and I was like, no, not talking to you after 9. Those are booty call hours. Even if the dude wasn't calling for booty, I'm still like, no. It's like you had all day. You thinking about me when you get in bed at night? Nah, bruh. But that's one. That's one example of a boundary for dating. But maybe it could be, and I've used this example before, is a boundary for yourself. Keep your own boundaries. If you know that you have plans to go out with your friends on a Saturday and this guy is hitting you up like, hey, I want to take you out on Saturday. What you gonna do, sis? You gonna flake on your friends? Or are you gonna tell him like, hey, I'm busy on Saturday. At this time, we can go earlier or we could go on Sunday, right? So it's keeping your boundaries, it's keeping your time for yourself, it's keeping your time with your friends, making sure you're not overextending yourself, it's making sure you're being real. Because then when you're in the relationship, what's going to happen? Every single time your man want to hang out, you're like, well, I can't hang out with my friends because I'm hanging out with my man. No, especially in the beginning, is the perfect opportunity to help you learn how to balance your life with this new person trying to come into your life. You'll have to make adjustments, of course, in a relationship. You'll figure it out, right? You adjust. But in the beginning, and if they're still pressing, like, no, but I really want to take you out on this day, this time, then it's like, okay, why are you being so persistent? I already told you I'm unavailable. See how they are with your no. You can tell a lot about a person when you tell them no. If they're too persistent, it'll probably be that way in a relationship. That could be it could get dangerous when you're in a relationship and someone's that persistent in the beginning. So watch out for that. Watch out for those signs in the beginning of a relationship. So the first thing that's in is keeping your boundaries. The first thing that's out, which kind of goes along with boundaries, is people pleasing, not proving yourself for a relationship, right? People pleasing. And the example I used earlier about boundaries is not about, oh, let me make myself available for this guy that wants to take me out on Saturday, even though I already have plans. That's people pleasing. You're going to release that in 2024, sis. No more people pleasing in 2024 in your dating life, really with any of your relationships. But, we're talking about dating again. So in your dating life, no more people pleasing. No, let's communicate about this. How can we both compromise out of this? I've seen videos last year where women were doing the most to lock in their love, secure their love, to prove their love for someone. And they weren't getting the same or as much in return. So no more people pleasing. You need and you deserve a balanced, healthy, loving relationship. All right. That's out. So another N for 2024, the girlies, I really wish this for you is to not settle. Okay, don't settle in your dating life. I know maybe you are getting older, maybe you're being influenced by friends, or maybe it's just in the back of your mind, you got a biological clock, all of those things, but just still be patient and don't settle. Because when you settle and you think, oh, I've reached a certain age, I'm supposed to be married by now. And I've had those thoughts too. But then you might get into a situation that is not healthy because you are rushing into something that doesn't serve you. Don't settle because you will regret it. You might resent the person. You might like overlook all of the red flags and flaws because you want to be in a relationship so bad. Don't settle. You deserve more than that. You deserve more than those thoughts in your mind and saying, oh, you need a man, you need a man, you need a man. Those intrusive thoughts. It's okay to be single. In last week's episode, I discussed some things you can do in your alone season. Do those things. Focus on yourself in that moment. Focus on yourself in general, and then that love will come. You'll notice all the love already around you. You'll attract more of that love, and then you'll notice that love in human form when it comes to you. Okay, so no more settling or think of your past and if you've settled in some way and how that worked out for you. You don't have to tell me about it, but reflect for yourself. Okay, and number 2, the second thing that's out for 2024 is situationships. Goes right along with not settling. Situationships, that is pretty much not a commitment. That is you and someone possibly exchanging yourselves physically, but not emotionally, right? It's someone meeting maybe your bare minimum, and that's it. It's someone who's not willing to commit. It's someone who just wants to have your time, maybe your resources, access to you, but they don't want you totally and completely. And you should want more for yourself. And I want you to want more for yourself. Okay, if someone's not willing to put a title on things, like, oh, it's just a title. If they know it's just a title and titles aren't a big deal, then why are they making it a big deal? With a situationship, things are loose, things are confusing. If something's confusing, that is not of God. He is not the author of confusion. That is not something that you would want in your life. You don't want someone who's confused about you. You want someone who's intentional, who knows what they want, and they get it, or they try. But no more situationships. No more of you being available when someone hits you up at the last minute and say, hey, come through, or hey, let's go out. No more you wanting to be in a relationship and they don't, and you still just settle and say, okay, yeah, I'll still hang out with this person and hoping that things would change, and they don't. No more of you just being around and being available for this person when you know you want more in your life. You know you want more for yourself. So no more situationships in 2024, girl. No, no. Situationships too are, it's a lot of times where someone is getting the benefits of your presence, of your being, of your essence, and you're not getting anything in return, or you're getting just a little bit so that they want to keep coming around and that they want you to keep coming around, but you're not getting everything you want. A situationship is like, it's a situation. It is a situation. It is not a relationship. So if you're looking for a relationship, then say no to situationships in 2024. The third relationship in is vulnerability. And I smile when I say that. Ooh, girl, it took me a long time to get there. Vulnerability, letting your guard down, trusting someone, letting someone in sounds scary, huh? I know it does. I know it does. But to be in a rewarding, fulfilling, loving, healthy relationship, sis, you have to be vulnerable. Show that feminine, soft side of you. It's within all of us. It's within even men. We all have that masculine, feminine energy. But as a woman, I want women to be more soft, at ease, and feminine in 2024. So an N is to be more vulnerable. How can you do that? Share a little bit about yourself. Share what you're comfortable with. See what their reaction is like. See how you feel when you're sharing. Do more of it. Get more comfortable with it. And then you never know. The person that you're talking to and dating, a lot of times they'll become vulnerable too. They're like, wow, this person is willing to share this side of themselves. I want to share a little bit more about myself too. And that builds that connection and that trust. When you're dating, be vulnerable. Be yourself. Because what do you owe to this person? You don't know this person. Be your full, authentic self. Because what can they say? Oh, is she crazy? Bye. Leave me alone. We've only known each other for a week or two anyway, right? Okay, don't be crazy. That's not what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. Just be your full self. To give an example, like I said, our third date, I started rapping, ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. I mean, he had the song playing. I'm like, well, shoot. I was rapping, cursing, saying all the lyrics. Y'all know the lyrics. There you're crazy. And that was just me being myself. I'm like, I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna rap and I'm gonna curse. And he didn't judge me. We had a conversation the other day, 3 years later, in about how I feel about him and like, wow, he just does not judge me. And I noticed that on the third date because I was just being my authentic self, being vulnerable, not caring what he would have thought of me. And he didn't think the worst of me. He thought the best. And now we're getting married. So be vulnerable. More of that in 2024, girls, okay? And the last thing I wanted to tell you for your out, relationship out, dating out in 2024, this is what you want out of your life. It's ignoring those red flags. You've seen them, you saw them. Like with that same story right there, if he would have gotten rude or aggressive or said something snarky about me rapping along to a song, that would have been a red flag. Years later, 3 years now, he could have been still saying some crazy comments to me. And it's like, well, I saw that on date 3, right? So red flags. And it goes beyond a rap song. But like if there's things that you notice, if they're treating the waiter with disrespect, if they're saying some disrespectful things to you, if they are touching you in inappropriate ways and you're not ready, or if they say they'll call or will take you out on a date and then you just don't hear from them, these are red flags. And you do not need to tolerate that in 2024. Take it out. Take that trash out, sis. No more putting those blinders on in 2024. No more seeing exactly who they are and you just putting your blinders on and your rose colored glasses on and not seeing them for who they are. Red flags gotta go. And you, girl, yeah, I'm talking to you. You know what the red flags are. You know things that you do not want in your life that you're receiving and accepting and allowing, and then you get mad. You get mad at the person because you thought, oh, you just thought they would be different, but they're showing you exactly who they are. But you got the story in your mind about who you think they are, how you think they'll change, how you think they won't treat you like that when you're seeing through their actions, they are like that. Stop ignoring red flags in 2024, sis. Stop it. All right. So, and I got an exercise, but let's repeat these dating ins and outs for 2024. In keeping your boundaries, not settling, and being vulnerable. The outs are people pleasing, situationships, and ignoring red flags. Okay. So, to let all of that settle in, I want you to get a pen and paper after this podcast episode, or you can get it on your notes app, whatever it is. I want you to do some reflecting and talk about this. Okay. I want you to write a list of 3 things that you want out of your dating life in 2024. 3 things that you want. If it's you want to learn how to set boundaries, you want to communicate better, you want to be more open. Those are all great things. 3 things that you want. And don't take those 3. Choose another 3. Or if one of those resonate with you, choose another 2, okay? But write a list of 3 things you want in your dating life in 2024. Next, I want you to write 3 red flags you missed in a past relationship and a lesson that you learned from that. One of my red flags from the past is that I did not have boundaries. Lesson, I got walked all over. I was a people pleaser, all of that. Not cool at all. So write 3 red flags that you missed in the past and the lessons that you learned from that. And the last one is 3 non-negotiables. We discussed this in a previous episode about 4 or 5 episodes back about how to determine your non-negotiables. Refer to that episode if you need to. But 3 non-negotiables in your dating life in 2024. We ain't having it. We're not tolerating it. All right, girl? Write down a list of 3 things you want in your dating life for 2024. 3 red flags you missed in the past and lessons from that, and 3 non-negotiables. You got this. You got this. You got this. And I want you to tag me on social media if you're comfortable with sharing any of them. Tag me on Go Girl Movement or at I am Ashley Caprice. I'm on Instagram, also TikTok at I am Ashley Caprice, Facebook, all of that. I want to hear from you. I want to really hear your dating stories or allow me to help you. We can work together. I am a relationship coach. Go on my website. Let's book an appointment. Let's talk or slide in my DMs. Let me know you want to talk to me and we can schedule something. All right. Go to my website, gogirlmovement.org. I'm here for you. I want healthier, happier relationships for 2024 and beyond. You got this. We got this. Okay. Those are the dating ins and outs of 2024. Let's say the affirmation one more time and then we are out of here. Today's Go Girl affirmation, which goes along so well with this podcast topic. I release the need for approval from others and find validation within myself. All right, girls, I'm out of here. Stay connected with me on social media again at I am Ashley Caprice or at Go Girl Movement. Please leave a rating and review. It'll mean so much to hear from you and to read your comments about what you think about this topic. And let me know if you have any other that you would add to the list of your dating ins and outs of 2024. All right. Until next time, I'm out of here and I hope you have a great week. Go, girl.